My dear listener, as I have indicated to you earlier on, I'm joined live from Limpopo by Ntshikwane. As you know, I am just in love with jazz women, musicians who play instruments. And as you know, this evening we are celebrating the contribution of a guitar to jazz music by playing our jazz guitarist. So Ntshikwane is here and she's going to introduce herself. Let me formally welcome you, Ntshikwane.
Thank you so much. It's great to finally be here. We've been talking about this for a while. It's nice to be on air talking to you.
Okay. And it's such a pity because we have connected virtually, so I'm able to see you and I'm looking at your traditional skirt with touches of Venda and pediculture.
Tsonga, yeah. It's a Tsonga.
It's a pity because our listeners can't see you, but I'm giving them an idea of what you are wearing, and I guess they'll be able to visualize you. Okay, briefly tell us, who are you? Who is Ntshikwane?
I'm a singer, songwriter, guitarist, actress. Of late, I'm an events organizer. I've been in the industry for a while, for over 15 years now. My passion came from my father. My father was a pianist, he was a singer, but by profession, he did other things. He wasn't able to do music professionally because at that time, our parents were not able to do such things creatively. You had to provide for the family, you had to provide for the kids. So music was not seen as something you could do to provide for your kids. So I took it upon myself to follow on the lineage because my family are musicians and they're storytellers. So the kind of music that I do, I call it Afro folk because of the storytelling element of it. And because I like to go deep into my experiences and experiences of people that I've come into contact with.
Ntshikwane is a stage name. So can you tell our listeners what your full name is? And also for their benefit, also spell out how to write Ntshikwane.
Yes. So actually, when I started off in 2008. My name is Ntshikwane, Ntshikwane. It means the one who remains, the one who it means the one who's left behind. But my aunt says, a nicer way to put it is to say the one who remains. It sounds much better than the one who's left behind, So I actually started in the industry as Ntshikwane. I had to change it so that it's more eligible, it flows smoother on the tongue because people couldn't really say Ntshikwane. They see the H and the ease of pronunciation. I just said, you know what, let's just say it's Ntshikwane. But of late, a name, you don't get given a name by accident. Names are symbolic, and I'm named after my mother on my mother's side. So in the journey since 2020, I've really found it important for things to be given the representation that they deserve. Even try and make things sound better, that they were not like that originally. I mean, somebody told me, Beyonce's name, we learned how to pronounce it by her saying her name is Beyonce. If you were to see it until she said it. So we should also take pride in our names and not try and edit ourselves for the ease of other people. We all need to learn to come onto other people's boats and learn to pronounce their names properly, or even learn their languages and learn the pronunciation properly. So it was important for me to really, it's like a full circle coming back to myself and reintroducing myself as Ntshikwane.
Okay, it's very rare for a woman musician from a village, for that matter, a rural village.
Yeah.
When they want to go into music, then they choose an instrument, and for that matter, a guitar. So what attracted you to a guitar?
I would say, I think the first person I would say that I saw with the guitar is Tracy Chapman. That's why she's a huge influence of mine. You know, I saw that performance of hers she did at the stadium with just her and her guitar. I think it was a Nelson Mandela concert. And it really had an impact on me. I didn't realize then. I just saw it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But later on, I realized the impact that it really had on me, that that's the instrument that I chose. I mean, my father played piano. I didn't want to go that route. So seeing Tracy Chapman there on stage by herself with the guitar, I thought, you know, that's something I would want to do one day. But funny enough, I didn't actually pursue it initially. My parents didn't want me to do performing arts. Like I said, they thought music and performing arts is not something you can do and provide for yourself and have you know, a good life doing music. So initially I did sports management because sports was another passion of mine. I played hockey, I played soccer, I was in the first teams of hockey in high school, I played soccer at a national, you know, at a provincial level, sorry, at varsity. So soccer is something that is in me, and it's also something that I got from my father. He was also a sportsman. He played soccer as well in his youth. So music came about slowly due to an injury that I got while playing soccer. And I saw that as an opportunity to go to my parents and say, you see, this sports thing is dangerous. Let me just do my, you know, performing arts degree and let me do that. So finally that they agreed for me to do that. And I went to Pretoria University, pursued drama. Actually, I didn't do music. But while I was there was one of my fellow students who played guitar, a young white girl. And I asked her to teach me. She taught me a few chords, but you know, at the end, we couldn't get our schedule straight where she can teach me properly. So after that, I bought a book from a music shop and I taught myself how to play.
Wow, that's very interesting. You have since released a number of albums. Take us through those albums.
The first one I released was in 2008. That one was called Wonderful. And it was at a time, I think I was experimenting. I wasn't, you know, I think a lot of people, their first albums, it's work that they've done since their youth. I mean, I've listened to interviews from Alicia Keys, from Corinne Bailey Rae. It's stuff they had been writing since their teenage years. So also my first album was more experimental. I wanted to see if I really wanted to do it. Because remember, I studied drama at university. So my training was as an actress. So I had all along been doing theater productions, some television shows. And there was one particular industrial theater show that paid me to sing their lead song, their theme song for the year. Whereas before that, the year before that, it was Mam Yvonne Chaka Chaka who did it. The year before that, it was the late TK. So the lineage of the artists who have been doing their theme songs was like big artists. And then here comes me, somebody fresh out of university, and that company chose me to sing their theme song for the year. So I think that was the rubber stamp for me to say, you know, if this big corporate can choose me after choosing all these legends to do their theme song for the year, I think I have something. So literally that money from that event, from that production, I took it and went in studio and recorded my first album, which is wonderful. And yeah, it got a good airplay. As I said, it was songs that I wrote way back when I was younger. And yeah, I think that is the album that introduced me to the industry. You know, people started noticing me with that album, even though when I look back now, I think, oh my God, such an embarrassing album. But it was what I could do with the money I had then. You know, the level of recording, the production wasn't as great as I would have had it, but it certainly opened few doors for me. And then my follow-up album was The Soul Experiment, which is one that I recorded actually in a garage here in Limpopo. And it was funded by Limpopo Arts and Culture Association. And that was really the one that solidified my place, that really gave me the confidence to say, I am a musician, I am an artist, and I'm doing this full time.
Tell us about your most favorite songs. I know as an artist, you love all your songs, but there should be one or two or three from each album that speaks to your soul.
Yeah. From the first album, it's the title track. There's a song called Wonderful on the album. It's one of the earlier songs that I wrote just about, I think back then I was heavy into Christianity. So the song, it's a song I wrote about God, about how I feel about life and about the blessings that I've received and all of that. So that is it's still my favorite album, my favorite song on that album. And then on the Soul Experiment, whew, it's a tough one because all of them are quite, yeah, something I've written from the heart. I think on the Soul Experiment, I would say Moletangwedi, which is a song that it's Proverbs, Pedi Proverbs, Moletangwedi Uleta Leswisu, which are proverbs that have meant a lot to me, that loosely translate to he who waits for the moon waits for darkness. So it was inspiration to me during a time where I had just moved from Gauteng to Polokwane when I recorded the the Soul Experiment. It was during a period where I just moved back to Limpopo to create some kind of an art scene because I realized that there wasn't much happening in terms of theater, in terms of music. So there was a period in time, it takes some adjustment for people to kind of warm up to you and for you to find your footing. So it was at a time where I was feeling like, did I make a mistake? Was I supposed to move back? My career was just taking off in Gauteng and then I chose to move back. So it was something that I wrote to say, what, keep going. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't leave because things are not working out.
What is the state of the music scene in Limpopo? Because I know in metropolitan cities like Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town, things are really happening.
Yeah. In Limpopo, it's really, we look forward to a few key festivals. There isn't something that happens consistently. If you were to come to town on any given night or even on a weekend and say, where can I go see a live music show? People would be stumped to say, there's Mapungube Festival coming in December. There's Marula Festival, which happened in March. So what do you want? The house music scene, that is alive. I think that one is clear across the country. Mapiano, house music, that scene is always there. At any given time, you can go anywhere and find DJs playing. But the live music is the one that's lacking for me. And that's something I want to, birth in the city, a consistent scene where people know that there is live music, whether it's every Thursday, whether it's every Sunday, that there's something consistent for those people who are not into house music, who are not into amapiano music.
By the way, this evening we are also playing Selailo Selota, who is from Limpopo,
yes,
from Seshego, even though he's now in Gauteng. And you do also know Judith Sipuma, even though we are not playing here this evening. But what you are saying is that he is the reason that motivated them to move to Gauteng as just musicians. Yeah, instead of them staying in Limpopo. So I take it that you have already recommended one song that we should play for our listeners.
Yes, the one song that you could play is Moletangwedi.
Okay, that's wonderful. No, my dear listeners, she has chosen the song for you, and let's listen to it. And let me thank you on behalf of the station management, on behalf of my listeners, for you to set aside time to have this conversation with us. And as you know, we have been playing your music previously, and our listeners just love it. And thank you. And in Sesotho, we say lekamoso, meaning even in future, when we invite you, please do make yourself available.
No, thank you so much for the invite. It really was a pleasure speaking to you and, getting to share my story. So the people who find me online, who find my music, because it's always nice for me also, when I find artists, I like to hear where they come from, where they started, what they do, what their inspiration is. So I'm hoping that as they listen to the music, having heard the interview, having heard my story, they'll connect more with what I say in the songs.
And your final message to our listeners this time is your turn.
Keep streaming our music. I mean, keep going to YouTube and watching the stuff we put out, because that goes a long way. As you know, a lot of our income was taken off the table from, the streaming services, from all of that, from no CD sales anymore. So the more you listen to us, the more we earn a living and the more we can produce for you, so it's a cycle of us releasing and you coming back and listening and supporting the music.
Thank you very much. And here we go, my dear listeners. Here's a choice for you this evening.
Yeah. Hi, this is Ntshikwane, and you are listening to the Sunset Serenade with Sol Mulubi on High FM 101.9, 101.1 FM.
Okay, try again. It was going very well. Yeah. No, it was going very well.
Hi, this is Ntshikwane. You are listening to the Sunset Serenade with Sol Mulubi on 101.9 FM, High FM. Enjoy the show. Another one for safety, yeah.
Yeah, try again. Then you say on High 101.9 FM.
Oh yeah, on High 101.9 FM. Yes, okay, that's okay. All right. Hi, this is Ntshikwane, and you are listening to the Sunset Serenade with Sol Mulubi on High 101.9 FM. Enjoy the show.
Perfect. Give it your last shot again.
Okay. Hi, this is Ntshikwane, and you are listening to the Sunset Serenade with Sol Mulubi on High 101.9 FM. Enjoy the show.